and like.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Scott Seidenberg back here with you, Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I wanted to bet some of these live player props, but some of the books here in town just not giving you good numbers or juicing you too much. It's like, I'm not going to place those bets. But something that I was interested in, we did talk about Austin Reeves to go over his live scoring prop of 12.5 points. LeBron James to go over his live rebound prop. Over 4.5 rebounds live for LeBron James, as at the half, he only has 1 rebound. So I would go over 4.5 rebounds for LeBron James, and I would also go over 3.5 assists for LeBron James. So that is, you see, now this makes sense. DraftKings is giving you a plus 204 payout on that, on a 2-leg same-game parlay. Over 4.5 rebounds for LeBron, over 3.5 assists for LeBron. Forget about the Austin Reeves. This is the parlay I want. I don't want any part of LeBron points, if I'm being honest, because it just feels like, yeah, he's gotten 12 points already, and maybe he tries to get going. Am I betting on him to score 15 points in the second half? I'd rather just bet him to get four rebounds and 4 assists in the second half. So let's have fun with that. Let's go LeBron James over 4.5 rebounds and LeBron James over 3.5 assists in the second half. Hey, the NBA playoffs are heating up. VSiN's breaking it all down from series odds to matchup breakdowns. You'll find more of our NBA playoff coverage on the VSiN Watch app. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnAir. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live. We are still scoreless in Dallas. The Avalanche and the Stars, 0-0. Second period action, Stanley Cup playoffs, first round series. We have played the live draw at plus 280. Looking at the updated line right now, Colorado minus 140. Your live total is 3.5. Your live regulation draw is down to plus 240. This game feels like it's going to overtime. Even if one team finally breaks through and gets a goal, I can see this being 1-1 going to overtime. But would 0-0 surprise me? Not the way this is played out right now. I mean, these teams are very familiar with each other. This is going to be a hard-fought series. This is a battle between these two teams. And right now, we are scoreless as we have 13 minutes to go in the second period. We'll keep you updated on what is going on there. On your Major League Baseball scoreboard, it appears that the game is the game's over. The Padres fall to the Astros 3-2. So just 2 games in progress right now. Top of the 8th inning, the Braves have a 4-3 lead over the Twins, and they're in the bottom of the second there in Anaheim. Giants with the early 2-0 lead over the Angels thanks to a Matt Chapman 2-run home run in the top of the first inning. So we'll update you on what's going on there. And let's see, live totals right now for both of those games is total of 7.5 for the Braves and the Twins, total of 9.5 for the Giants and the Angels. We have a penalty coming up here to Colorado, so Dallas will go to the power play right now with 13 minutes to go in the second period, as Dallas now showing a little bit of life in the odds market because of the power play. Colorado down to minus 125, Dallas minus 105, and your total is at 3.5. Again, I still am on the draw. That's the bet I made. I'm sticking with it. We're going to overtime here in this game. Well, speaking of this series and the game that we saw earlier in which the Winnipeg Jets defeated the St. Louis Blues in come-from-behind fashion 5-3, we still have more first-round series to begin tomorrow. 3 series will begin tomorrow, in fact, and then a couple of series will begin on Monday and I believe Tuesday. We have the first games of a couple of other series, really of just the Panthers and Lightning don't get started until Tuesday, which is crazy. The shortest travel of anybody, and they have the longest wait to start their playoff series. But anyway, I've made my picks on the first round, and here's what we have for the first round playoff series. And I'll actually give you some updated prices on these because we've already had, a game one played, obviously, between Winnipeg and St. Louis. So let's start with those Jets. We already know I'm on them to win the Stanley Cup. I've made no secrets about that. We bet them to win the Stanley Cup, and we did take them at minus 190 to win the series as one of my best bets over the St. Louis Blues. Your live line right now is at minus 425 for that series, which is pretty crazy, but they did win game one, and they have home ice advantage. For this series between the Stars and the Avalanche, I did go with the Avalanche to win this series only because I expect them to win all the games at home. And they're good enough and talented enough to steal a game in Dallas, and so I don't see them losing in Colorado. If this which means it could easily be the Avalanche winning in 6 games or maybe even in 7 if they win Game 7 on the road, although it's very hard to win Game 7 on the road. Although home ice advantage, not as important, if you will, in the NHL as it is in other sports. Taking a look at some other playoff series, I love the Toronto Maple Leafs to get by the Ottawa Senators. Current price is now minus 170. And if it's not this year for Toronto, I don't know when it is, because this might be the best version we've seen of Toronto. I think they are a more complete team than we've seen in the past, and the goaltending is certainly there for them now, as Anthony Stolarz has stepped up significantly for them. So if it's not this year for Austin Matthews and company, I don't know when it is. They are, in my opinion, the team to come out of the Eastern Conference. So everyone's been waiting for Toronto to finally break through. This might be the year, because if it's not, I honestly don't know when it's going to be. Carolina Hurricanes take on the New Jersey Devils. I'm actually going to go with the Devils in this series. You can get them right now at plus 200. I think they're absolutely live to win this series. Jacob Markstrom is the X factor in net for them. If he can steal a game or two in this series, I absolutely think New Jersey is talented enough, even without Jack Hughes. Now, if they had Jack Hughes, the Devils might be one of my picks to go to the Stanley Cup final. In fact, last offseason, so before the regular season even started, I was asked to make a pick on who's going to win the Stanley Cup, and I chose the New Jersey Devils. And the reason I thought was they made the acquisitions in the offseason to shore up their goaltending with Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen, Jack Hughes, a legitimate star, and the defensive mentality now with Sheldon Keefe coaching this team. It really has completely changed the way that they play hockey. This is not the same Devils run and gun, high, fast-paced team. This is more of a defensive team now. So even though they lose Jack Hughes, I would certainly love to have him, but without Jack Hughes, I still think they're talented enough. With guys like Nico Hischier and Timo Meier, they can score. Jesper Bratt. I really believe in this Devils team, and I believe in their defense, and I believe in Markstrom in net. I think they can pull an upset here over the Carolina Hurricanes. Elsewhere, I like VGK, the Golden Knights. Probably my favorite pick to sweep any series, because Minnesota in this series is completely overmatched. Vegas is better in every single aspect of this matchup. So if there was one series that I would pick to be a sweep, it would be Vegas. But part of me wants to buy into the story. And the story is Marc-Andre Fleury for the Minnesota Wild. The Hall of Fame goaltender will be saying goodbye to the VGK fans here in Vegas in Game 5 when the Knights eliminate the Wild. So I'm actually going to go with a prop bet in this. And I'm going to go with a prop bet of VGK to win in 5 games. That's right. VGK to win the series 4 games to 1 plus 400. I'm going to make that a bet because I think it's a gentleman's sweep. Vegas wins the first 2 games at home. Minnesota takes 1 at home. Vegas takes 1 in Minnesota, and Vegas wins on home ice. Marc-Andre Fleury gets to say goodbye to the Vegas fans. He meant so much to this franchise, the first pick by this franchise, and he gets his moment saying goodbye as the Wild get eliminated by the Knights. Elsewhere, I'm going to go with the LA Kings to beat the Edmonton Oilers. This line makes no sense to me that you're getting a plus money price, now plus 110 on the Kings. They have home ice advantage, and they are the best team in the NHL on home ice, literally. 31 wins at home this year. Their goaltender, Darcy Kemper, who's going to finish second to Connor Hellebuck in the Vezina voting, on home ice, he is better than Hellebuck. His numbers on home ice are incredible. LA also got so much bigger on the blue line because they knew that they know it's going to take a physical toll in order to beat the Edmonton Oilers. And so they did that this offseason. They got bigger. I love LA. They've played, this is their fourth year in a row playing in the first round. Edmonton has won the first 3 years. This is the year that LA wins. Plus 110, they will win this series. Elsewhere, I like the Lightning to beat the Panthers in the first round. Florida has just played way too much hockey over the past couple of years. The mileage will catch up to their bodies. The Lightning are the better team. They got the better goaltending. I like the Lightning in this series. And my upset pick, it's a fun one. I guess you can tell by deduction. Montreal Canadiens at plus 250. I'll explain more about that one coming up next. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnair. The Colorado Avalanche have scored the first goal of the game after a review for goaltender interference. It was determined that it is a good goal. 1-0 Colorado, Arturi Lehkonen scoring for the Avs. This is Live Bet Saturday here on VSiN.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
I just watched the replay of how Arturi Lehkonen scored that goal for the Avalanche against the Dallas Stars. The replay was not for goaltender interference. Is because Lehkonen kicked the puck in the net. So he shot the puck, Ottinger made the save, and then the puck bounced right back to Lehkonen, but the defenseman knocked Lehkonen over. And as he knocked Lehkonen to the ground, Arturi Lehkonen's feet went up in the air and kicked the puck over Jake Ottinger's shoulder into the net. So they reviewed it to see if it was a kicking motion, but it wasn't a purposeful kicking motion. It was just a very fluky, bounce off of his foot that went in. I mean, go figure. In a game where it's been 0-0, where neither team has scored on the power play, where it looks like it's going to overtime. I bet the draw because I think it's going to go to overtime. The only goal of the game comes in the flukiest of fluky situations. That is incredible. Your live market right now for this game is the Avalanche minus 375. My goodness. Total of 4.5. If you wanted to bet the draw now, it is plus 300. All right, so we're not far off. We got it at 380, but it's plus 300. Real quick, I teased out my thoughts on the Montreal Canadiens pulling an upset in the first round over the Washington Capitals, and it all has to do with Logan Thompson. If Logan Thompson cannot play for the Capitals, I love the Canadiens in this series. But all reports coming out of Washington, and we don't know this right now because they're so secretive when it comes to these injuries. He did practice, Logan Thompson did, and there's a chance that he could play in Game 1. If he makes his return and he actually is healthy and plays throughout this series, then yeah, I like the Capitals because he's the difference maker in net. But I do think that the Canadiens are young enough and raw enough to pull the upset. And what I mean by that is they don't care who the other team is. They don't care that Alexander Ovechkin, surpassed Wayne Gretzky. They don't care that the Capitals had the best record in the Eastern Conference. Like, they're young enough and hungry enough to just go out there and out-talent and out-hustle a more experienced championship team like the Washington Capitals. So I think there are, plus 250. It's a fun bet to be made on a young, hungry team, young, fast, talented team like the Montreal Canadiens. And then just that home atmosphere at the Bell Center in Montreal, it's just going to be out of control. Out of control. Let's update you on what's going on in LA, where the Lakers are getting blown out by the Timberwolves. So much for a Laker comeback here in the second half as Minnesota continues to make essentially every shot they take. Right now from three-point range, they are 17 of 30, 57% from three-point range. This is how the Lakers, like the Timberwolves are out-Lakering the Lakers. Because this is how the Lakers, had some impressive wins in the past month or so, is because, they jump out, they go 8 of 9 from three-point range to start the game. They wind up shooting 50 to 60% from three-point range and, just wind up blowing you out. That's what's happening here for the Timberwolves, though. Timberwolves, 57% from three-point range, 17 of 30 is just unbelievable to watch this play out. Meanwhile, for the Lakers, just 13 points here in the third quarter, being outscored 26 to 13 in the third quarter. Maybe a second half under was the way to go. Although your live total right now is at 221.5 with the score 85-61. Live line, Timberwolves minus 16.5. That is unbelievable. 16.5 points. And you know what's funny? I want no part of the Lakers plus 16.5. Crazy. Absolutely crazy to see how this has played out. Looking at the box score, I mentioned how I was very disgusted, if you will, by the assist numbers. The Timberwolves have 85 points, 21 assists on 32 made field goals. 21 assists on 32 made field goals. That is effective basketball. That is passing and finding an open look and getting a great shot and utilizing your teammates to help you get that great shot. The Lakers, meanwhile, yeah, you know what? They have half of their baskets are on assists to only 10 assists. They've only made 20 baskets, though. 20 of 51. LeBron has 13 points on 5 of 12 shooting. Luka's got 24 points on 7 of 15 shooting. Hey, we might hit that Austin Reeves prop. He's got 2 3-pointers right now. 2 of 5 from three-point range. He has 8 points. Rui Hachimura made those 3 threes in the first half. That's about it. This is a blowout. I did not expect this to play out this way. Well, speaking of the NBA playoffs, we know they're heating up. VSiN's breaking it all down from series odds to matchup breakdowns. You're going to find more of our NBA playoff coverage on the VSiN Watch app. So make sure you download the VSiN Watch app and get all of that playoff coverage. At this point, I know I'm absolutely smoked on my Lakers bet. I know I'm absolutely smoked on my LeBron. Can I get the LeBron assists? LeBron's got 1 assist, so I'm smoked on my LeBron assist bet. But Austin Reeves just needs 1 more 3, and at least we'll cash the Austin Reeves to get 3 3-pointers made. So there is a bright spot. We can cash Austin Reeves over 2.5 made 3-pointers. And the fact that they're down this much, over 20 points, well, you got to expect them to just continue to chuck up threes. There's 4 minutes left to go in the third. Just give me an Austin Reeves 3-pointer, and I'll feel a little bit better. But it's really the only thing to sweat out now is to just mitigate some of my other losses, because the Lakers are absolutely not going to win this game. The Lakers are not, if they're not going to win, they sure as heck ain't going to cover that 4-point spread, and they are not going to cover the live line when I took them at plus 4.5 earlier in the game. They were plus 4.5 at the end of the first half. But another 3-pointer for the Timberwolves. My goodness. They can, and here's the thing. They're open looks. These are uncontested threes. I can't be, it's like you can't be upset oh my goodness, the team just keeps shooting threes and making them. They're uncontested. Austin Reeves just made his third three of the game. At least we cashed that. Okay? At least we cashed that. We can feel good about ourselves knowing that we got back a little bit of the money that we're going to lose on the Los Angeles Lakers. All right, let's see if we can cash a draw bet here in the Stars game against the Avalanche, as there is, 5:27 to go in the second period. Colorado leads 1-0 on the flukiest of fluky goals, literally, off of a foot. Not even not a purposeful kick, just a kick from Arturi Lehkonen. 1-0 Avalanche. Your live total is 3.5 for anyone interested in buying in on that live draw and chasing it with us. It's plus 285 right now, and that's right around what I got it. I got it at plus 280. So it's right around what I got it at when it was 0-0 earlier in the first period. So if Dallas can come back and tie this game, that's the thing. I feel like we're in a good position, because if Dallas comes back and ties this game, well, then I don't think that either team takes, any unnecessary risks in the third period, and we can wind up playing to a stalemate in the third period. So we'll keep monitoring what happens through the remainder of this second period and see if there is a bet to be made in the third period. I was about to say something's going on in this Laker game. Anthony Edwards, I believe, is headed to the locker room. Now, did he get hurt, or was it looks like he limped off here. He's holding his ankle a bit, stretching out the toe. Here's the thing. They're up over 20 points. They're not losing this game. If Anthony Edwards feels like he might have tweaked his ankle, or even just wants to get like a new tape job or something, yeah, go back into the locker room. You're up 20 plus points. No reason to push it here. Here's what I am interested in, though. Is there a book that is offering a live player prop points right now? And would they offer on Anthony Edwards? All right, DraftKings has frozen Anthony Edwards now off the board. So Anthony Edwards has 17 points right now. We got to see if they're not going to open this back up. If they open it back up, we play the under. But I don't think they're going to open this bet back up. Let's see. Yeah, Anthony Edwards is off the board right now. I'm going to keep checking some apps. You guys check your apps. See if there's a live player point total for Anthony Edwards, who just went to the locker room as the Timberwolves blowing out the Lakers 88-67. I'm Scott Seidenberg. This is Live Bet Saturday right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Well, things might be getting a little interesting here in LA. Lakers go on a 10-0 run that has since been broken up by the Timberwolves. The score is 90-73 right now with under a minute to go in the third quarter. Lakers making a little bit of push here in the third quarter, especially after Anthony Edwards limped to the locker room. Live line now, though, 92-73 Timberwolves lead is Wolves minus 13.5. This got down as much as Lakers plus 11, but now it's at 13.5. Now, 13.5 is what we're at. And still no update as I search Twitter on Anthony Edwards, who did limp to the locker room with an apparent ankle injury or whatnot, but we have not gotten an update. And I'm watching the TV, and I haven't seen anything about Anthony Edwards coming back into the game. I'm still refreshing Twitter to see if there's an update on Anthony Edwards, but he did go to the locker room after, it's weird. It's like he landed, I thought, on his right ankle, but it looked like he was holding his left ankle. I'm like very confused by what was happening there with Anthony Edwards. And again, limping off into the locker room. Where we are right now is the third quarter is winding down. There's about 15 seconds left in the third quarter. 92-75. Timberwolves lead the Lakers. Once this quarter goes to a close, we will update you on the box score and see where we are with the live bets that we gave out as well on the player props. The live assist prop for LeBron James, the live rebound prop for LeBron James, and the live point prop for Austin Reeves. And we'll also check in on our pregame bets on the LeBron assists and the Austin Reeves three-pointers. Hint, hint, Austin Reeves has cashed that three-pointer bet for us. The Avalanche have scored a power play goal, so it is 2-0 Avalanche with 1 minute left in the second period. Nathan MacKinnon with that goal. So McKinnon's got the Lehkonen got the first goal in fluky status, and then MacKinnon scores on the power play. So 2-0, and Colorado is still on the power play. This was a 4-minute double minor for high sticking. So it was a double minor for high sticking, which means that blood was drawn. So we'll see if the Stars are able to kill off the second part of the power play, and they are. So 2 minutes, less than a minute left in the second period. It is 2-0 Avalanche over the Stars as the seconds are winding down, and we'll give you the live line once we hit the end of this second period to see if Dallas can come back and make it a game, or at least get one goal, and see if they could have an attempt to get back in this game. They say the 2-goal lead, the worst lead in hockey. So we'll see what happens here. About 30 seconds left, and curious how this ends. Meanwhile, free throws are being taken right now in LA. So there's a second, or less than 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Just waiting for this third quarter to come to a close so we can give you an official update on. Did he make that? Did Luka just make a half-court shot? Well, it wasn't. It was a little in front of half-court. Luka just made a essentially, almost, I'm not going to call it a half-court three. It was in front of half-court at the buzzer to end the third quarter. 94-78. The Timberwolves lead the Lakers. Listen, the Lakers losing that third quarter by 5, fantastic for them, considering this was a blowout. They were being outscored by 20 in this third quarter. For them to come back and only lose that quarter by 5, unreal. So here's where we are on your live line. Timberwolves minus 11.5, live total 226.5. I know that my under's already smoked, so that's a loss. My Lakers minus 4.5 is a loss. But Lakers plus 4.5 that we took live is not dead yet. Like they're 11.5 point dogs here on the live line. So not necessarily dead yet on that plus 4.5 if they can have a strong fourth quarter, and they're going to need contributions from everyone to in order to make this comeback. Let's update you on the player props. So Austin Reeves has cashed our over 2.5 3-pointers made, as he is 3 of 6 from 3-point range, and he has cashed the live player point total of 12.5. He's got 16 points, and he's only 4 points shy of cashing the pregame line. We didn't play that, but we talked about playing it with one of our guests, Dan Titus, earlier. It was at 19.5. We thought about playing that with LeBron over assists, but we stayed away from that. We just took the 3-pointers instead, and we gave out the live player points at halftime, and he has gone over that. So 16 points for Austin Reeves now in the game. Luka Doncic, meanwhile, he has 31 points. He has 4 3-pointers made. LeBron James has made 1 3. He's got 4 rebounds, so he's 1 rebound shy of cashing the live over 4.5 rebounds that we talked about at halftime, but still only 1 assist from LeBron James. So we're likely going to lose that over 6.5 in the pregame line for LeBron assists. And we are still, though, hoping that if he gets 3 assists in the fourth quarter, we can cash the live over 3.5 that we gave out at the halftime for LeBron, over 3.5 assists on that live line. LeBron's got 15 points on 6 of 13 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3-point range. Only 2 free throws for LeBron James. This is not a typical LeBron James performance, but Luka is doing it all for the Lakers. 31 points now on 10 of 18 shooting. Meanwhile, for the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards only had 17 points on 6 of 16 shooting before he left the game, and no word yet as I continue to search Twitter to see if Anthony Edwards is going to return in this game. There has not been a report. Shams, let's see, is this the legit Shams? Because I don't know, I don't want to get scammed here. All right, we got the legit Shams here. Anthony Edwards is dealing with a cramp and receiving treatment in the locker room per sources. That's the weirdest cramp I've ever seen. Now, I am not a professional athlete, but I have suffered from cramps, muscle cramps. I used to take a medication that one of the side effects was muscle cramps. I used to get a lot of them. And then I started drinking more like electrolyte powders and stuff to avoid, cramps and getting the potassium, bananas, all that stuff. I've never seen a player get a cramp and grab his ankle. Where do you get a cramp in your ankle? You get a cramp in your calf? You get a cramp in your thigh? Toes? The toe cramp's the worst. You ever get a toe cramp? My goodness. But he looked like he grabbed his ankle. Now, maybe it was a calf. Maybe he got a cramp in his calf. That's a weird report. I did not expect that to be the report. So, yeah, interesting. All right, so let's see where we are right now elsewhere on the player props. Jaden McDaniel, he has 21 points on 9 of 11 shooting, 3 of 3 from three-point range. Julius Randle has 11 points. He is 3 of 5 from three-point range. Naz Reid, 5 of 8 from downtown. He leads the way with 20, or he's second on the team with 20 points right now for the Timberwolves. So that's where we're at right now as the fourth quarter is underway. 94-81 now. The Timberwolves leading the Lakers. We are in the second intermission there because of in Dallas. And Dallas, the Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. Your live total is 4.5. Do we think that we're going to get 3 goals scored? I don't think we get 3 goals scored. Now, I'd obviously like to see that happen because I did bet the draw. So I would love for Dallas to come back and tie this game at 2-2. And that would be an over 4.5. I just don't think that that's the case here. I do think Dallas can score a goal, though. And if they go down 2-1, the empty net potential, they could lose 3-1. Could he get a second empty netter and they lose the game 4-1, which would be an over 4.5? It's hard to see. The under's juiced for a reason because goals have been very hard to come back here. Goals have been very, very hard to come by. Anthony Edwards, meanwhile, is back in the game, so hopefully for the Minnesota Timberwolves, he can silence this Laker run here as Ant-Man comes in and immediately has an impact on this Timberwolves team. As your score right now is 98-86. Timberwolves lead the Lakers. Live line, Minnesota minus 9.5. Still not out of the woods here. We can get this plus 4.5 on the live bet that we placed earlier. So keep an eye on what's going on with Anthony Edwards. He is back in the game for the Lakers and immediately has a nice step-back, fadeaway shot contributing. 101-86 now. Timberwolves over the Lakers. Just under 10 minutes left. We'll get to best bets coming up for tomorrow's slate of games. Coming up next, I'm Scott Seidenberg. This is Live Bet Saturday right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Live Bet Saturday, I'm Scott Seidenberg with you on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. All right, the Lakers trying to make a comeback here, 101-88. Timberwolves lead LA with 8:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Live line is Timberwolves minus 8.5. Lakers, I expect them to pick up the defensive intensity right now in this fourth quarter as they try and keep Minnesota off the scoreboard and they try and score and make this a game. The thing is it could be similar to what we saw, and I mentioned this earlier, what we saw in the Knicks-Pistons game. Detroit was red hot from three-point range, shooting over 50% from three-point range, and they cooled off, and in the fourth quarter, they couldn't get a basket to fall. Here we have Minnesota, who was shooting 57% from three-point range, if they start to cool off, and they have only slightly because they're still shooting 54% from three-point range, but if they can't get shots to fall here in these clutch minutes, and the clutch minutes are about to happen, 5 minutes late, late and close, right? These clutch minutes are about to happen. There's a little over 8 minutes left, and the Lakers can, pull themselves closer and make this a game. But if Minnesota, it's like if the thing is, every three-pointer they make is going to be a dagger right now for LA. So the Lakers have to defend the three-point line, and they also they can't have any points being scored, but they really have to defend the three-point line. As I say that, there's a three. As I say that, there's a 3 up for Minnesota, and it goes in. 104-88, minus 12.5, the line now in favor of the Timberwolves. Major League Baseball in progress. The Giants with a 3-1 lead over the Angels in the top of the 6th inning. So the Giants got 2 runs in the top of the 1st inning with a Matt Chapman 2-run home run. Willie Adames then singled in the 3rd inning to score a run. Mike Trout with a solo home run in the bottom of the 4th. Your only run there for the Angels. I do have the Angels at plus a 1.5, so hoping that they can at least score 1 run and lose the game by 1 would be nice for them. Meanwhile, still awaiting the start of the 3rd period in Dallas, the Avalanche with a 2-0 lead over the Stars. As we look inside the box score here, pretty even game. 18 shots on goal for the Avalanche, 17 for the Stars. The Avalanche out-hitting the Stars 23-12. There's been 4 power play opportunities for the Avalanche, just 2 for the Stars, and the difference in the game, well, the fluke goal, whatever, that happens, It literally goes off a guy's skate. I'm not going to blame anybody for that. The difference, I would say, in this game, because it should just be 1-0 on that fluke goal, but it was the power play goal scored by McKinnon, the difference, and that's why we have a 2-0 lead. But as they say, worst lead in hockey is that 2-goal lead. So we'll see if the Stars can mount a comeback here in the 3rd period. Live line right now, Stars are plus 850 to come back and win. They're even money at plus 2.5 goals. That I don't hate. Plus 2.5 at even money, that's a bet I would make. Because I think the Stars at least get 1 goal here in the 3rd period. I'd love for them to tie it. I bet the draw. I would love that to happen. But plus 2.5 at even money, I like that bet here for the Dallas Stars to come back. Give themselves a fighting chance here in this 3rd period. Let's take a look at tomorrow's game 1s. We have the Devils at the Hurricanes, game 1 of that series in Carolina. The Hurricanes are minus 205 with a total of 5.5. All of these totals are 5.5. The Senators are at the Maple Leafs. Toronto minus 155 in their game 1. And the Wild here in Vegas against the Knights. VGK minus 198. It is time for Best Bets, brought to you by G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. I've gone on record. I'm not changing my opinion. I think if there was one series that ends in a sweep here in the 1st round, it is the Vegas Golden Knights sweeping the Minnesota Wild. Now, I am going to bet the plus 400 on Vegas to win 4-1 because, as I mentioned earlier, I want to play into the storyline. I think it would be a great story, and you can see it in your mind's eye. Like, you can see it happening. Vegas is up 3-1. They win the first 2 here at home, and then Minnesota gets 1 at home, whatever. It's the gentleman's sweep. Marc-Andre Fleury gets to come back to Vegas one final time for Game 5 to say goodbye to the Knights fans. And what a great send-off for the Hall of Fame career for his final game to be here in Vegas against the Knights. I could see it happening. So, plus 400 on the Knights to win 4-1. I like that bet. But for tomorrow specifically, my best bet is going to be on the Vegas Golden Knights minus 1.5 goals at plus 136 odds. And shop around because you might even be able to get better than plus 136. I think this is a complete mismatch. And I get it. Minnesota got a little healthier. Kirill Kaprizov is back. So that's definitely helping their offense. They are way overmatched here. Vegas is way too skilled for them. Vegas is way too big for them. And the goaltending edge goes to Adin Hill, in my mind, over Philip Gustafsson. So Vegas will win this game at home. And like I said, if there is one series that you're picking to be a sweep, it would be this Vegas Golden Knights team to sweep the Wild, but I kind of want that story to play out with Marc-Andre Fleury, so I'm going with the plus 400 on them to win in Game 5. In fact, maybe split your bets. If we look at the series exact scores, you can get plus 400 on Vegas to win 4-1, and you can get plus 800 on Vegas to sweep. I like sprinkle like a half a unit on both. Why not? Plus 800 and plus 400. Because I think both are possibilities. This is a complete overmatch in this series between these two teams. That is my best bet for tomorrow. Again, Vegas minus a goal and a half. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, the official bank of VSiN. G-Bank is upping the ante with up to a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. First, new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening will receive a $250 bonus. And in addition, if you spend $50K on gaming and sports app loads within the first 30 days of account opening, you'll receive another $500 bonus. Apply now at vsin.com/gbank. That's vsin.com/gbank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. All right, we got 6:50 to go in the game. Timberwolves up 106-90 over the Lakers. Live line is Timberwolves minus 11.5. A quick check on our live player props that we played here in this game. LeBron James, we gave out at halftime his over 4.5 rebounds, and that has cashed. LeBron has 5 rebounds. So we have cashed the live bet on LeBron. We cashed the live bet on Austin Reeves over his points. We cashed the pregame bet on Austin Reeves over 2.5 3-pointers made, and we still have one live bet pending on LeBron James over 3.5 assists. Guess what? LeBron has 3 assists. Get us one more assist, LeBron, and we will cash that live bet as well. And while you're at it, I mean, why don't you go ahead and get 4 assists so we can cash our pregame bet, but that's never going to happen. But just one more assist, please. Get 1 assist. We want to cash the live bets at least, because that's what we do here on this show, which is called Live Bet Saturday. 106-90 is your score as LeBron goes down to the ground, and he's going to milk this. Milk it, LeBron. Stay down there for a while. That's what he does. He loves the spotlight. He loves the camera. He loves the attention. Hey, stay tuned. Coming up next after Live Bet Saturday, it's Cashing Out with Greg Peterson. And then kick off your Sunday, Easter Sunday. Hey, Easter weekend. Tomorrow, the VSiN Weekend Morning Line at 10 a.m. Eastern, hosted by me. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning for the VSiN Weekend Morning Line at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by Ready, Set, Bet at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So that'll take you through your Sunday as we preview the games coming up for tomorrow in both the NBA and the NHL. Here is your schedule for the games coming up. I mentioned the NHL schedule starts at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Devils at the Hurricanes, 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. The Senators and at the Maple Leafs, and then 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock local time here in Vegas. The Wild are at the Golden Knights. On your NBA scoreboard for tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, Grizzlies at the Thunder. 3:30 Eastern, Magic at the Celtics. 7 o'clock Eastern, Heat at the Cavs. And then 9:30 Eastern, Warriors at the Rockets. Houston, a 1.5-point favorite at home. Cleveland laying 12.5. Boston laying 13.5. Thunder laying 13.5. I like the under in that first game because early game unders, games that start the matinee games, these players are not familiar with this. They're not familiar with these early start times. A 1 o'clock Eastern time start time for the Thunder and the Grizzlies is a non-conventional start time. Let's go under the 229.5 between the Thunder and the Grizzlies. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnAir. Don't forget, coming up next, it's Cashing Out with Greg Peterson right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.